Everyone channel your inner Cesar.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, slay!
Slay. And welcome back, guys.
Welcome
back. So I hope you guys watched our previous episode of Christmas, because we forgot to include something there.
What?
New Year's.
Oh,
as it's coming up.
But that's Tim's favorite holiday, right?
Is it?
We're talking about Christmas?
No.
New Year's.
New Year's is my second favorite holiday.
Okay.
Because, it was good
Okay, we don't
memories.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
What are you gonna say? We don't need to hear all of that? Damn.
No, because we covered it already.
Okay.
Because Tim was not here at Christmas episode.
He wasn't?
I
That
was.
Dang.
Let's go down the line and introduce ourselves.
should introduce
It's me,
yourself.
Mark.
Phoebe. Alyzza.
Cesar.
Tim.
Greg.
I forgot.
Yes.
And
back,
it's
guys.
us, Speakeasy. Watch us
Speak
on
dash
YouTube,
easy.
listen to us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram, find us on
Subscribe.
TikTok, leave comments, like, share, subscribe.
all that jazz.
Please.
Pretty please.
All right, go on.
All right, so let's get into it. So I just wanted to start off because we're at that time. It's the end of the year. New Year's coming up. So first of all, do you guys believe in New Year's resolutions? And if so, what are they? If you have any for this upcoming 24 year.
Have you guys ever kept a New Year's resolution?
I
No.
was about to say no. I've never kept a New Year's.
Yeah, I personally don't believe in it.
What were your New Year's resolution last year?
Dude, I didn't have one.
Yeah, I don't
I didn't
give
set
myself one.
Mine's
That's
to
pressure.
read more.
Did it happen?
I read 2 books in April, both in April.
Okay.
And that's it.
Is it
That's
more than
it?
the previous year?
Yeah, how many did you read last year?
Oh, I read 0.
There you go. Nice. My guy.
Good job, Tim. We're proud of you.
Yeah, to you. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Greg, what was your resolution?
My resolution
Last
last year was to travel more and take it easy.
And
Has
did you
that
travel more?
I kind of traveled all over the place this year.
Nice.
You did.
Yeah.
Good
How
for
many
you.
places did you travel to this year?
Okay.
There's Hawaii.
Hawaii,
You mean Vietnam?
Japan. Japan. We went to Seattle. We went to where else did we go to? We went to Virginia, DC.
I don't count those, to be honest, because we always go there.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Not Seattle.
Hunter.
Seattle is new. Hunter, New York.
Poconos.
Poconos. Yeah, 7 places.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun year.
You really did it.
Fun year.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Nice.
But what are your New Year's resolution this year?
Yeah. Anyone have something right now?
I don't know.
Maybe move out again.
Ooh,
Part
wow.
2. Maybe.
Part dos.
Baby.
Putting it in the air.
Yeah. Maybe me would be stop being so lazy. Maybe put more
Stop being
effort.
so lazy.
Yeah.
Stop being so lazy.
Yes. I want to do more things. And
Like?
I don't know yet.
Hit
but
the gym?
Yes. That,
Yeah, that's the main one that people have.
But people always say that, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
yeah, but then just kind of be more willing to do things, because it's you always say things.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah,
but
but
it doesn't
then
really happen.
no. And I'm lazy to do things. I'm lazy to write things down, keep track on my spending.
I thought you liked writing.
Not
He likes creative writing.
Yeah.
not about my life,
Can someone fact check me? What is it? The beginning of the year is when people use the gym.
Gym the most.
Yeah,
like
like,
January
it
is
spikes
probably
up.
It spikes up,
crazy.
and then
Oh my
the
God.
first 3 weeks after is the
Yeah, it
biggest
goes down.
dip ever.
So if you go to the gym at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. on a normal day, that's not the beginning of the year. It takes 30 minutes to get a workout in for one machine. 30 minutes to get a set into one machine. During the new year, once it starts, it takes an hour 30 sometimes, because everybody's just there.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah,
Weird.
actually, my strategy for the last few years, whenever I'm at the gym, and it's the beginning of the New Year, I actually avoid it. Between Christmas and the Christmas and January, I don't go to the gym. I do everything at home,
Yeah.
or I do everything off
That's
peak
smart.
hours,
Yeah.
because you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You literally can't get any kind of set going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just one thing with New Year's, the reason why you want to do it, you want to move on from the previous thing. With the gym, it's laziness and stuff.
You
Do you guys
basically want to
have-
grow,
Yeah.
right?
Do you guys have any other overarching aspects you want to work on in this upcoming year?
Um, I do want to date more, but seriously dating.
Yeah.
And because not that I'm not a serious dater, I just feel like I just feel like I get the icks easily, and I run away after I find that ick, and I hold on to that ick, if that makes sense. But I need to be more considerate and actually be a serious dater for this year,
Okay.
and finally find someone.
Date him, guys. Just a
Yeah.
cutie.
Such a cutie. Oh my god.
So you're gonna give more second chances to
Not
everyone?
even that.
Yeah,
Not
what
about
do you mean
second
by that?
chances.
Like,
It's
elaborate.
just when I say serious dater, I think something that is more, slower at a slower pace. Something that is more traditional than what
Like
we
our
typically
culture
do.
But it's
today.
like if you get the ick, you get the ick, right?
No,
you know
but
what I
what-
mean?
Yeah.
So
So how are you gonna fight that?
no, even if sometimes it's a small ick, like I kind of hold on to it.
What's an
Exactly.
example?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Ooh.
to.
Yeah.
It's like
Can we say it off cam?
Dang.
I
You
don't
don't have any examples that you want
I
to say?
do. I want
picking his nose
sure
while you
our
eat.
No,
audience
because
is
even
curious.
with someone who I dated this past year, 2023, which it was an actual dating kind of relationship, but I found the ick, and even if the person tried, I kind of held on to it. But it's not like holding grudges. It's kind of just always in the back of my
Yeah.
head,
Hmm.
kind of, skewing my opinion about that person.
I feel like people find ick so easily now in the dating
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
nowadays.
I think it's just because there's so many options with like
Yeah.
dating apps and everything that people are less.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
I'm trying to be a better person. I think I'm already a better person, but acknowledging it. So
I actually have a question on that for you guys too. So when you guys think about your resolutions and stuff, do you also do like a little bit of like self-reflection of like what you've accomplished and how you've grown throughout like the past year
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
indirectly.
indirectly? So what is one thing? Well, we'll start with Tim. What is one thing that you've done that you looking back at 2013? 2013.
2013. Hello.
That's great. 10 whole years.
2023.
That's a lot of
2023. What have you done in 2023 that you're actually one really proud of, and two that you've grown from?
That's a
One
good question.
thing that I'm proud of is, being financially independent.
Oh yeah, I
Slay.
love that.
Yes.
Cesar.
I'm in the
On
process
period.
of moving out of my parents' house, which
Woo.
is very
Let's
nice.
Woohoo.
This place looks so
Stressful, but
It's part of growth.
It's part of growth.
We're
and
gonna
I
have a
think-
new set. It's pretty soon, guys.
Oh
Tim's
my
apartment.
God.
Better place.
My
No
apartment.
pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's something that I'm very proud of. And if you asked me this question maybe 5 years ago, I wouldn't have thought of it because I feel like my family was financially struggling before. So it's a big growth, and sometimes it gives me chills thinking about my purchases more recently. Yeah.
It's fine. You'll get past it.
What about you, Cesar?
What was the question again?
So one thing that you're really proud of, and then
Okay.
another thing that you've grown from.
Something I'm really proud of. I don't know. I guess it's just doing more. I feel like part of that is just like actually working a full-time job since we just recently graduated. And like something I want to work on is just putting myself out there more and not caring too much. Like I think
snap.
I've had a trouble with that like throughout my life, like just caring too much about what other people think.
Yeah.
So if I were to have a resolution, it would be that. But I don't like the word resolution, like New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Because I personally think it's just an excuse, like giving a time frame for you to start anew. But why not just do it now? You know,
You can start
like
now.
it's like a lifestyle change.
Preach, sister.
Yeah.
So what would you rather call it?
What?
If not a resolution, what would you call it?
Just goal. New goal.
Yeah, goal, lifestyle change, mindset change.
Exactly.
Like no time frame. Because honestly, I think I do that a lot. Like I'm sure you guys have noticed. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yo, I'll do this like when we get home after dinner. Like, the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, we have so many stories just about Cesar.
I'll do it next week. You know, after
Cesar has to set a timestamp for every single thing he does.
I'm trying to work on it.
We'll
but
be like,
yes.
"Oh, can you do this?" And he goes, "I'm gonna do it right after I eat this
Eat.
last piece of rice." And we're like, "Just do it right now."
No, I am self-aware at least.
It was a big.
It's what makes
That's
Cesar
good.
Cesar.
Very
Yeah.
proud of you, Saz.
Yeah.
More of the do now mindset. Is what I'll take forward.
Okay, that's good.
All right, Alyzza.
Alyzza.
What was the question again?
Oh my god.
All right, everyone remember one thing you're proud of from 2023 and one thing you've grown from.
What thing I've grown from?
Yeah.
I think, okay, one thing I'm proud of, I think this year has been my self-love journey year. Like, oh my God, the way that, like, I treat myself and I have respect for myself, and that respect where it's like I don't let people bring me down anymore or affect me as much. Like, I'm okay by myself right now, and I'm, like, so happy with, like, you know, the person I am now. All thanks to this girl, to be honest. She helped
You're
me.
welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Girl. My girl.
You're welcome.
These are my girls. These are my girls. And then what thing I've grown from, I guess I've definitely become more independent this year. Like, I don't need to rely on people. Before, guys, like driving. Bro, I would hate to drive to places to do things.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but now I'm a little bit better. Just a little bit better. I still don't drive.
Yeah, it's improvement though.
Yeah,
She's still a
but,
passenger princess, though.
Yeah, I'd rather. Because I don't have a car,
But
guys.
she can drive is her point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
she can
if
drive,
I
yeah.
have to get
When was the
something
last
done,
time you drove?
maybe like 2 weeks ago.
2.
Yeah. Guys,
It's better than zero.
man.
Yeah, it's
I
better than
have-
zero.
I have
grown.
evidence of her driving every time she took care of our cat. So
yes,
There
I
you
did.
go.
I did.
You know what I realized? I've never rode on Alyzza's like car or
Yeah,
any
'cause I
car
don't
where she's
have
driving.
one.
I had to park her car.
And see, better than that, I'm better now.
yeah, she
Yep.
got it.
Something
Miss
I'm
V.
proud of.
Mm-hmm.
There's many things to be proud of. I don't have a specific one.
Top one.
Top one.
Yeah,
Number
just
one.
anything.
Number one.
Share with the class.
My career. Right, I put a lot of work to get where I am with getting into the fashion industry. So really, really proud of my job and only leveling up from here.
Let's go.
And second one was, what have I grown from?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. What you've grown from.
Yes.
I thought it's what you want to grow more.
Oh, well,
Was it?
either way. No, but you got there.
However you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
However you want to frame it.
I think my mindset with also like loving myself, but in a different way. I feel like healing from a lot of toxicness from past situations, being whole again and loving myself, that I don't have to depend on a relationship, on other people for my happiness. So yeah, similar.
Amen.
There we go.
Yes.
Gone through
That's
the
on
same.
here.
Look at us.
I'm
All right, and Mark.
I'm proud of the consistency I've held this year. Like before, like the longest I would ever stay in the gym is like 2 weeks. I've been at the gym for like over a year already now. This is the longest. This is the most consistent I've been. Even in terms of work ethic and everything too, this is the most consistent. So that's a big milestone for me. And for growth, I would say it's actually doing things that I put my mind on now. Because I've had a bunch of ideas, like this podcast. This is something that I've always had an idea of for like the past, year and a half. And this year I actually stepped forward and was like, all right, we're starting. We're
Yeah.
doing
doing this shit.
I left the
And
group
look at
chat.
us.
Yeah.
I left the group chat.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Aw.
awesome.
So
Nice,
it's
nice.
just, just constant pushing. I'm not stopping myself no more.
Let's go.
I feel that one thing I'm very proud of.
I thought you won already.
No, I asked the question. I asked the question.
He passed
yeah,
it to Tim.
Okay. All right, Greg. Let's hear.
Before I hand it back over to Cesar, one thing I'm very proud of this year is that I was able to spend a lot more time with you guys, and that was a very
That's true.
consistent,
Honestly.
consistent thing. A lot of things,
So sweet.
left the group chat because of this. We're in the podcast, all the trips that we took, right? Even like the festivals and stuff and concerts that we've been to.
concerts.
We were talking about this earlier. We went through like what was it, like 7 concerts?
concerts.
I went to 7 concerts this year.
We went to
That's
too
wild.
many. Tim, why are you glaring?
I'm never in these hangouts.
Or you will be going forward.
I
that
know.
Yeah,
you're
now Tim is actually
I'll
going
be
to be
closer.
Closer.
Tim has a hard schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, right? All of us have very difficult schedules that, and we're all over the place, like coming in from different parts of like the world, and we still make the time to
The world?
hang
The
out.
world?
Yeah,
World here in New Jersey.
Well,
It's the
from around the
worldwide.
state, but we all make the effort to come around
We all live in the
consistently.
same town.
No, literally, relax. I'm an hour away.
No, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. But we still make the
We
time for
make
each
the
other.
time. It's the effort.
Growth thing too, I guess, is being more actionable about the things that we say that we do. Right. I'm talking about growth for us as like an entire group now. Again, a lot of things left the group chat
Right.
this year, and that's something that's pretty cool, guys. Let's keep
It's
keep
not
that
just
consistent.
ideas.
Yeah.
We make it happen more
We
often.
really
than
do.
Very proud of that.
We
Yes.
like plan
Our little
it,
family.
We do.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So many experiences this year. It's actually wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of
Yeah.
did a lot.
We
All right,
did.
you want to get back on topic,
Yeah.
Cesar?
Word.
Sorry, we kind of
Alright.
just like hijacked your whole thing.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
No, talk
So-
about our topic.
Yeah,
What's
no,
our
it was
topic?
great hearing the New Year's stuff because like the topic for today is like moving on. I don't know if we officially said it, so
We haven't.
No, we have
well,
not.
it's moving on. So most people think of moving on in terms of like a romantic relationship, but I want to tackle it in like a different aspect first, because like people move on from relationships obviously, but like there are like interests or activities or like different aspects of your life that you've quote unquote moved on from. What do you guys think about that? Do you have any examples? Because like, let me just start. So like for me, it's like video games and like anime. I used to be super into that like in like high school. I guess for video games, like we'd like smash like every after school.
What you mean by that?
Wait, hold on.
Wait, hold on.
That didn't sound right in my head. Like I'd be so excited to smash.
Whoa.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean
Keep
by
it going, Cesar. Keep
But
it
like
going.
now, if we ever play that game again, like I don't care for it anymore.
You don't
Like,
care about smashing anymore?
Nah, bro.
Dude, I'm trying to smash all the time.
Yeah,
Cesar, I said I want to seriously date. We can't smash anymore.
I know. Sorry.
No, dude, I feel that too, actually. Like, one of the biggest activities I loved doing was jamming.
Mhm.
We would always jam every day
Yeah.
after school. We would play music together. We'd come up with songs. We'd create new covers.
Mhm.
But it's just like, I don't have that same drive to
Yeah.
be as musically creative as
Mhm.
before. I still have all the skills that I had, but it's I feel like I took that skill and put like a blunt end on it
Mhm.
and like left it to just kind of
Yeah.
stay blunt. I haven't sharpened it in forever.
There's no drive to improve or pursue. it
Yeah. It kind of like just left my body.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
kind of sad because growing up, I really wanted to do things in music. So
Mhm.
that passion is just.
Well, you
I
always
agree.
talk about jamming again, and then again we have all this audio equipment
Mm-hmm.
that can be used for it.
All right, Alyzza, drop the beat.
Boom. Chika. Boom.
Oh,
Boom. What?
talking
Hey,
about
boom,
jamming.
chika.
Yeah,
I'm trying to jam
What?
something
Hey.
else.
yeah.
Jam something.
This is when I stop. I just stop.
This is why we
Have
stopped
to-
doing it.
Yeah, because always
That's a
serve
real
fun.
reason why we stopped
Because
jamming.
we're buns.
Well, what about you guys? What are
Yeah.
some things that
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
moved on.
you've
from.
moved on from?
Let's do V and Alyzza first.
Yeah. Anything come to mind?
When I lived in New York, so it was about almost
Lived
2
in
years.
New York?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You
god.
did live in New York.
She lived
Before
there for a
I
while, guys.
reunited with y'all, I lived in New York, and I feel like because I had my own space and stuff, I was really into content creating. So like my fashion stuff, like my blog, and
Mhm.
taking a lot of pictures and content, videos. Okay. What is this, Mark? Would you like to
Anyways.
introduce?
Go.
Now that I moved back home with family and back to my old room, I just feel very uninspired.
Mm.
I don't know. Like I feel
Do you
like
know
I
why?
took a step back from like my growth and my independence, my freedom, and not being accessible to the city with my work, my full-time job now, like really far in Jersey. Like I don't have the time or just the accessibility to go to New York to
Mhm.
take videos and content. So I mean, I really want to get back into it.
Mhm. What's stopping
Still
you?
a drive.
Yeah.
Time
Time.
and just the passion of it. I think when I lived in New York, I felt like
Like
my
you're surrounded by it.
Yes,
Yeah, you
I'm
see it, so you
surrounded.
wanna
Yes.
engage
even
in
my
it more.
like my home living like was
It was
very aesthetic.
in you.
Yeah.
I get that. Now you're surrounded by us.
Damn.
What
you trying to say?
No,
What do you mean by
like
that?
we're not Well,
Yeah.
I'm not an Instagram
Oh,
person.
that's true.
I'm
My
not like
friends in New York are
Yeah,
all
they're,
like
like,
fashion
influencer
people.
type.
Yeah.
And then like this girl has to like beg me not to wear sweats. You know what I mean? Like we can't take cute photos together because Alyzza's always in sweats.
That's
You know what I mean?
point.
Yeah.
That's the point. But even just my room, like I just feel like I'm taken back to my childhood. You know, like my room is pink and purple, and I'm like, this is not me. This is not who I am anymore.
You know, you actually said like two things I always hear about when people move back to like their parents' place. One, they feel like they regress, and then two, they actually lose more time.
Are you
Right?
sharing?
People think like they go
Can I
back
have
and they
some?
gain more time, but like it feels like it's like time.
It's the opposite.
It's like the opposite. Yeah, they like I guess it becomes like accessibility, right?
Communal bread. Sorry.
Body of Christ.
I guess we're all taking a bite. That
If anyone's wondering, this is how COVID spreads.
COVID's on the rise. Let's not.
I'm good.
There's.
Did you take a? Oh, so
I did.
Oh, good luck. Good luck to us.
I personally cannot think of anything that is an activity that I've moved on from.
So you're still on everything you were interested in.
I
You would say.
mean, what's something that I'm interested in before?
Volleyball.
I still play
Tim,
volleyball.
Tim
Yeah.
still plays volleyball.
Yeah.
But I think for him, it's like it's just a time aspect.
It's
of
just
it.
a time
Yeah.
aspect.
But you never lost.
And
the
also
interest.
the
Yeah.
availability of it.
Yeah.
It's not as available as when we were in high school.
Exactly.
Like we always had practice every day after school,
Yeah.
so a court was always open to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I moved on more with relationships a lot.
And we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah. Me, I would also have to agree with like video games.
Yeah.
I think
there's no drive anymore.
No, I used to play all the time.
We all
would
used to
all
play.
used to be in Discord together, and we would play for hours and hours and hours.
And it would satisfy the
yeah,
time.
We'd
but
play
now-
until our mom turned off our router.
That's crazy.
You know, I actually get lonely when I look at that Discord and I look and I'm like, oh man, I remember all the games I used to
Yeah.
play.
I
and
just
I'm like,
left
no.
all the Discords.
Yeah,
Actually,
but I
this
kind of
morning.
like it
Really?
though.
Yeah. Is
I
it
do.
growth?
I
Or-
think because when I was playing those video games, I would just sit in a chair for hours and hours. You know, I think that was the most laziness I probably felt because I would literally eat at my desk too, and I wouldn't get up from this chair for hours. Right? You know how
That is growth.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
You're
not
changing
like,
habits.
exactly. I'd rather be out and about
Right.
and like do
Exploring the
something.
world.
Exactly. So
I get that.
I see it as a good thing.
Definitely.
I'm not too much of a gamer, but I still love to play.
Yeah. Play what?
Valorant,
Overcooked.
Overcooked,
Overcooked.
Yo,
Tetris.
Overcooked is like one of the best games to play.
I love
It's
Overcooked,
so
especially
fun.
if you play by yourself, guys.
Yo, she used to play like Phasmophobia
by myself.
by herself,
That's crazy.
Overcooked by herself.
Mm-hmm.
She used to do like what is it like the Valorant death matches by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
That's also the same thing with me. I haven't played video games in a long time.
Mhm.
A big interest for me, I used to be really into like, again, like you says, are into anime
Mhm.
and music and stuff. Even video games too. Oh, oops! What happened?
Nothing. My stomach just growled.
Continue.
Okay, yeah, I used to be into anime and music and video games and stuff. Like definitely the video games and the anime disappeared.
Mm,
Like
I get that.
I have like no. Even watching shows and stuff, I used to be really into watching
depends on
shows.
the show,
I
for me.
can't get into shows. I don't. I feel like I actually like lose, like I feel like I'm like losing out
Brain
or missing
cells?
out. Not
Yo,
not
you
losing
know
brain cells,
what?
but I feel like I'm like
I was saying
wasting
this
my life.
earlier. I'm not as into Singles Inferno right now as I was for the
Really?
past 2 seasons.
oh yeah.
I'm like
Like-
super into it.
I would be for the past 2 seasons. I would be sitting on end just watching episode after episode after episode. Legit for this season, I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, I could wait. I don't have to watch it right now, and
I
I don't
get-
know what that is. Like I don't know why I lost that passion.
I
don't
think you just have
Other things.
other things
Yeah.
Yeah.
that are priority.
You'd rather
Yeah.
be doing
That's
other
why.
I was
things.
also saying, the past 2 seasons that I watched it, I was always, talking to someone about
Bless
it.
you.
Yeah.
Like there's always, I mean, like I'm talking to you guys, but
A girl.
not just a girl, but it would be like a more one-on-one intimate talk about the episodes and stuff.
Intimate
So
talk.
it'd be like
So
I would.
like-
I always had someone to talk to about it, and now I'm just kind of just watching it on my own.
And it feels like you're kind of like wasting time.
Yeah,
right?
it
At
feels
least,
like a waste of time.
yeah, that's what it feels like for me. Like for like any kind of show or like things now, even like video games too. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
I do want to be more productive for the next year. I'm not gonna, because I feel like I've always watched shows, and especially on my day off, I'm not as productive.
What else do
I
we do
just
with our
binge
time though?
watch, Yeah.
yeah, it's a thing.
I edit the podcast,
Yep.
so maybe that's what mine is. I feel like I'm taking more time into. I'm taking away time from editing the podcast whenever I
Yeah.
do these things now.
Gotcha.
I get that.
Yeah.
All right, and real quick before we move on to the relationship aspect, do you think there's something in your life you will never move on from? Like it's just so part of your character that you don't see it leaving you.
Stuffed
Fashion.
animals.
Yeah. Stuffed animals.
The different in our answers.
I know.
What did Alyzza say?
Stuffed animals.
Stuffed
And
animals.
what's yours?
Fashion.
Wait,
that
Fashion or Sebastian?
Who's Sebastian?
The crab?
Under the sea.
Under the sea. Wow.
No, I feel like fashion is a part of my identity. Like, I wouldn't feel like myself. I would feel lost if I
Without it.
Yeah, some type of fashion.
Stuffed animals. This is part of my
Nice.
identity.
You know? Yeah. You
Dude,
have
I
a lot of
don't
stuffed
know.
animals.
Like
That's
for
a hard question.
I got you because this one actually like almost disappeared from me, but I got it back again.
What?
It's photography. There
I
was like
remember
there
that.
was
Yeah.
there was like a 3-year span I just refused to take pictures because I was so burnt out, and then now I'm actually getting back into it again, and it feels very very good.
Nice. Reignited that
Reignited
passion.
the passion. Yeah.
Me?
Anyone else have anything?
Yeah, you guys have anything?
Well, my sexuality is not a choice. I'm kidding.
Is that something you could move on from? I don't know.
Hey, some people did.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. No, I shouldn't be saying that. You're right.
All right.
Did you have one, Cesar?
What? Oh yeah, I was just gonna say cars. Like I don't know. I don't ever see myself losing that interest. It may evolve like with like electric cars and whatnot, but it will still be the root of my
electric
character.
Cars.
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't hear. I didn't
Oh,
expect to hear that.
Wait,
interesting.
down the line, because like it or not, it's gonna happen. But
Yeah,
that's a
I
different
see that.
convo.
I just want more buses and trains, guys.
Okay, Mr. Europe over here.
Honestly.
No, literally.
All right. We got 2 minutes before break.
All right, should
Yeah.
we just break now?
You want to break now?
Let's break down because the whole thing else is like relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
Break.
Okay.
And break.
Break.
We wish you a Merry
Christmas.
We wish you a merry. We wish you 1, 2, 3, slay.
And we're back. All right, now the part everyone's been waiting for. I think so because I think this is the most interesting.
Yes.
Like moving on in terms of like romantic relationships.
Spicy.
Let's just start off general. How do you guys move on from someone you've been in a relationship with or some kind of like agreement, whether it's a situationship or like MU?
Exclusive.
Block them.
Are we saying real answers or?
Real.
No, real
I would
answer.
Yeah.
assume real, Mark. We're trying to help the
Yeah.
people out here.
To be honest, I imagine conversations with them in my head, and I try and envision how it would go.
Like
To-
the what ifs or go the like future?
No, like I try and imagine a realistic conversation with them about the reason why we broke up, and that kind of sways me into closure on my own end, if that makes sense.
That's true. I actually had like a similar question later down the line, but we can get into it since you touched on it. Do you guys think closure is something you need with said other person or it's something you give yourself?
That's a good question.
Because for me, I personally think it needs that other person to get closure. I know that shouldn't always be the case, but that's like how I personally feel.
I need the other person also.
Yeah.
Same.
But I think it depends on the scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
if it's
how
good or
it
bad.
ended.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think I definitely gave myself my own closure because I had to. You
Yeah.
know, I needed that to move on. Exactly. So
Yeah. Actually, I was told this before. When it comes to some people, you have to give yourself the expectation that you'll never get an answer for how someone acts.
and that's the hardest part.
That's the
Sucks,
hardest
though.
part.
That's
That
literally
sucks.
the
Yeah.
hardest part, that I never got an answer, but you have to, like, in terms of like what I did, right? What was that question? What was the question?
How do you-
Yeah, how do you move on?
Yeah, I blanked.
She was on a roll and then
I blanked.
How did you move on?
yeah.
How I I guess you have to imagine your life without that person and like how your life has changed for the better. Like now that, you know, I'm no longer with that person, look, I have so much time. I have so much time with my friends. I could use that energy now to focus on myself. I really have to like literally like beat up my mind and make me think in a whole different way where it's like, I'm positive, I'm okay. I really had to force myself in that situation
You know
because
what
I
it is?
had to.
It's a whole bunch of distractions, to be honest. To get, because like, you know, these emotions they come and go, and these distractions, like us just being there for you
Yeah.
during that time,
Yeah.
and us just like taking you out, we forced you to like do things with us and everything.
Even if you
Exactly.
didn't want to.
That was
Yeah.
us
guys did a
helping.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Thank
helping.
you.
We were distracting you from delving deeper into those thoughts.
But I
Yeah.
mean, it happens, and I guess Alyzza, you're probably like, stop hurting me with your own mind.
Yeah, to be honest, because I would be like okay one day, and the next day I would just be on my floor like crying.
Yeah,
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah, so I really had to literally pick myself up because I think I came to the realization like, oh, look at me, like why am I like this?
But do you think, not to say your way of closure is invalid, but do you think if that other person had a healthy talk with you where, let's say he admitted his fault and this is the reason why you guys are parting ways, do you think that would have made it better?
Maybe. I think I would understand like more so like why it ended and the reason why, because everything I think for me just came very fast and very unexpected. So I think that's why I had to give myself my own closure.
For your own peace.
Yeah, for my own peace. But if we did have a talk, I think I would just be a little bit more settled and not like running all these different scenarios in my head. Because I think that's the part that drove me a
Yeah,
little
the
bit
what
crazy.
if always drives
Yeah.
everyone crazy.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Because just to add on to that, because that's how I personally have closure with my exes or whoever, is to talk it out, right? And I feel like I'm emotionally mature enough to be the bigger person and actually have a conversation. I'm a very confrontational type without disrespecting the other person, if that makes sense.
I
So,
need that though, TBH.
yeah, and I've been like with my first ex, for example, we literally talked and I teared up, but I understood after because there's always two sides to the story, and your although your emotions are also valid and your experience is also valid, you also have to hear the person out. And most of the times I feel like because that conversation does not happen, you tend to overlook what the other person is also feeling. And if you don't understand what
street.
he's feeling, then you don't really see the bigger picture why you
Yeah.
have to part ways. Yeah.
I mean, like, also, I'm not very confrontational, right?
Agreed.
And, like,
Same.
going from the other side of the spectrum, I do agree with you, though. I feel like a lot of closure would be a lot, like, if the person has closure with me, it is better. But at the same time, my expectations are just so low for people that I just expect that they won't. And I guess I've gone to accept that even if they decide to do any kind of closure, it doesn't change anything of the fact. Like, it would probably still be the exact same outcome. Because if anything, it would just give me more questions. Be like, okay, so why would this person be thinking this type of way? Is this something... And make me feel more introspective. I feel like it'd be like, is this something that was my fault? Or is this just a situational time thing? I feel like sometimes a clean break without explanation is probably the best. Because I feel like, again, everything happens for a reason. And then
I
even
believe
if you
that too.
have that
So
clean break,
I've
it's the
experienced
best.
both.
Yeah.
My first relationship, we had a talk. We had a closure talk, and my second one, there was just no closure. It was we broke up. Okay,
That's it.
that's it. And honestly, it was so much harder for me to move on from the first relationship
Really, with the closure.
with the closure. But
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying, yeah.
I don't know if that's
Is that
because
just
it was
situational?
I don't know if I don't know if it's
Situational.
just because it was my first relationship.
Right.
And you know, it was my first like interaction with love at that age and stuff. But it was really hard for me to move on from that, even having the closure. And I feel like with the second relationship, I just moved on like right away. But I also was checked out of the relationship.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
early
touch on.
on,
Like,
so-
your perspective of the relationships were different towards the end. maybe.
That's the thing. I didn't want to call you out, but I think you got your closure. Like it's so a lot of people think that closure needs to happen with one conversation. Sometimes it doesn't, but you can have a closure with having the other person involved literally like more in a longer period of time, which happened to you with your second relationship. I feel like little by little you were kind of pushing the person off
away.
the person away. Exactly.
So do you think closure needs to be a conversation, or is it just
It can be a process, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like it could also be like not just a process, your mental state too, like what Tim was saying. Because I'll honestly say I've been the other person in the conversation where I didn't let someone have closure. Like I walked out before.
You didn't want to have that.
I didn't want to have that conversation because, and I mean, if this person is listening, the reason why is because in the back of my mind, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to be selfish for that point. I gave too much that I needed to take something back.
it's okay to
And
be selfish.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it felt relieving and it felt good. I didn't feel like I needed to explain myself anymore, right? And I still feel like I don't need to explain myself. Like this person could ask me why I did what I did, which was just break up and just walk away without any explanation. I don't have to explain anything to this person.
Right.
I don't need to, even now, right? And I don't feel bad about it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's yourself. So
It's
like,
myself, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you think you want to uphold that respect, though? I like ending things in a
But that's why
nice
it's very
manner.
situational.
I
It
know.
depends on the dynamic of the relationship.
I felt like
prior.
for me in that situation, I felt like me not explaining myself was actually the most respectful thing to do, because if I had to explain myself, it wouldn't be anything good to say. Yeah.
I know it's situational, but like there was one point in a time where you both love each other.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are.
That's an interesting point.
You know what I'm
That's-
saying?
yeah, that's something I
Why
always say.
can't you get into a situation? Understandably, situations may change and may be impacted in one snap, but you can always put yourself in that situation or in that conversation where you guys can act like it's okay and be less defensive and have these boundaries set before you start that conversation.
But that's also based on a level of maturity.
Yeah. Not everyone has that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, going back, because again, I was the person on the opposite end that didn't provide that closure, right? Do I think it would have been better in that situation? I could say, yeah, if I talked it out, it would have prolonged a lot of things. It would have been better for them to have that closure. But at the same time, how I viewed myself holistically, and this is why I made my decision, it was I gave. Why do I have to give one more thing? When at this point I'm already checked out. So that's why I had said this is finally the moment that I need to grow. I need to be selfish. I have to stop thinking about how other people how other people feel, and
stop
thinking
caring
more,
too much about
start
other
stop
people
caring
think.
too much and start to care about myself, because Greg needs to feel again. That's
Why'd you go into the third
so that's
person?
why Greg needs to feel again.
Greg need love. Greg need happiness. Greg needs self.
Yes.
Yeah, I needed to like feel what it was to be myself again. So that's why I was like, I needed to do that.
V, if you're comfortable, did you get any closure with your relationship?
Yeah, we had to have it. I'm the one that needed closure. He's the one that kind of like Greg, kind of mentally checked out, didn't provide that. I think I didn't get closure till like months later, honestly. But because we didn't end on bad terms from like the breakup, we were able to come back and talk about it and have the final closure in a peaceful, respectful way. And yeah, wished each other well. But
Just moved on with your lives.
at that point when like he got over all the emotions of like being angry or in the moment, like it took him a lot of time to be able to come back and talk to me to provide the closure. But yeah, I've been in that situation where
Do you think
I
it would
need
have been more beneficial if you didn't have closure, or?
Yeah, do you think it
I
would
think
prolong?
if I didn't get closure, I would have kept holding on to hope.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you keep on thinking of like the happy times and the what ifs and like maybe it can happen again. And I don't know.
Yeah. And I needed the closure to move on with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to hear it straight from the person and why we we can't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, like, when do you know you've moved on? So we talked about like how we move on. When do you know you finally moved on? Because like, I think my aspect of this is like when you hear about this person, see their IG, whatever, like any aspect of them, and you don't like wince or react anymore, whether it's negative or bad, depending on how the relationship was. Like when there's just no feeling towards them anymore, I think that's when you moved on. Any thoughts on that?
I think you know you've moved on when you start feeling like yourself again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're in a relationship, you're always in that mentality where like, oh, we gotta do things together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I feel
once
that.
you remember to love yourself in a way, like when you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't need a good morning text. When you like I guess drive to work and you're like, oh, I don't need to talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I could just vibe out listening to music on my own. Once you learn to appreciate the time you spend with yourself again,
Yeah.
I think that's when you truly moved on.
I agree.
Yes,
Tim is picking up his food.
Yeah, for context.
Yes.
I was gonna add on to that. Can you repeat your question so I can
What was it?
remember?
Oh, when do you know
How do you
you've
know?
moved on from
Yeah.
someone?
I think when you start loving yourself again,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
mentally, you're just a little bit more selfish, right?
Mhm.
Like you just start caring for yourself,
Yeah.
and you no longer put them over yourself.
Mhm.
Like you're putting yourself above everyone else.
Do you guys have that time frame thing? Like for X number of years of relationship, it takes X number of
No.
time to
No.
move
No,
on. Yeah,
I think it
neither. That's some
depends
BS.
on how
Really?
intense.
What?
Really?
What?
Yeah,
Really
that is
time?
ironic for Cesar
Oh.
to say, because Cesar's such a time-based type of dude.
No, that's different though.
I don't even think it's the intensity of the relationship because you can be mentally checked out right
Yeah, and be done with
before-
it day 1 or 2.
because you already mentally checked out of the relationship before it even ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on your outlook.
Like a while ago. Yeah, so it really situational.
We have a guest.
He's back.
Would you like to introduce
Yay.
yourself?
Hello. I got Filipino food.
Nice.
So-
DoorDashed.
Tim, how do you know when you've moved on from someone?
How do I know when I moved on?
How do I know when I've moved
that,
on?
that is a splendid question.
Oh, can you please elaborate?
Wow. You turned French.
So I feel like for me, it's not that I move on quick. I feel like I've had enough tears. And then you kind of can tell when your deepest, like the darkest moment is. It's kind of like you hit an abyss. You hit rock bottom.
You
And
feel
then
numb.
you start
when-
going up gradually, which technically is not moving on yet, but it gives you hope. And you can kind of assess day by day how much you've moved on from the day before. So eventually you'll get there, and eventually you don't even think about the person's existence, which would lapse your mind eventually.
I think like I said before, I think the true meaning is loving yourself. Because I know you said you're like, oh, when you look at their Instagram and you're like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But is that really you moving on, or is that just you suppressing your feelings?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Because you could look at their Instagram and be like, oh, I don't care anymore.
No, it's not
But
even
then
that.
you
It's just
go-
no emotions.
Yeah,
Because
like
I
you
was-
could feel complacent about it, but then you go to the park that you used to be and you're like, wow, I used to go here.
Then that
with
means you
her.
haven't moved on yet.
Exactly. But then
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You could still have, earlier that day, you could have been looking at her Instagram and felt no emotion.
Yeah.
You know,
But then once you see that you love yourself again, that's when you really know
But
that
that means you
moved
loved
on.
yourself in the first place.
It's
too.
not even about loving yourself though. It's really just accepting that his existence doesn't have to be
part of your life.
part
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like whatever happens.
Mhm.
Whatever happens. Right.
Realize.
Real- yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
feel like also for at least for me, I was able to forgive the person. Again, this is the reason why I walked out. I just had to get out. It was very, very emotionally draining and
Oh,
toxic.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, but still, like it's traumatic. It gives me cringes when I remember it. But at the end of the day, right? As bad as it was, I can't deny that there was good parts of it too. And because of that, even though I wronged this person by walking out, I forgive her for or I forgive them for whatever happened.
Do you think
Right?
part of moving on is also realizing that you were part of the problem?
Oh
too?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
self-awareness is a
Yeah.
big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did a lot of that. You
Yeah.
know, after I broke up, I kind of like thought of myself like, what? I kind of lost myself in the aspect of like, I think I relied on that person way too much, and I think that put a lot of burden on that other person. So like, the first thing I did afterwards was focus on myself, so I can learn to be okay with myself and carry my own in my next relationship. You know,
Makes
I can
sense.
take care of myself. You know.
She's
Feel you.
independent. She don't need no
Word.
man.
Well,
A lot of lessons learned
Let's
throughout these.
let's clap for emotional maturity. Three,
Please,
two,
no more
one.
claps.
Gosh. Yeah. It's like lumpia.
Why is
Wrap
it like
it up.
lumpia?
Let's wrap it up.
No, like lumpia. Lumpia always needs to have the sweet and chili sauce. But you have to learn how to eat the lumpia without the chili sauce sometimes. Bad
You have to be
analogy, I'm
okay.
really hungry.
I love lumpia though.
Do you think if you look at your ex with happiness, is that you moving on, or is that
I think it depends how
How
you
it
look at it.
ended also.
Yeah.
Cause like if it ended bad, if I look at my ex, I don't really want to see my ex.
Mm.
Like I'd rather not. You
I
know?
get that.
I agree.
It's just, I mean, I'm no hatred or I don't wish like anything bad on my ex, but I don't want to see you.
But did you mean that, Mark, in terms of like reminiscing of the happy times or wishing them happiness in their own way going forward?
no? It's more so like you're happy for them, seeing them where they are at the point that they are right now.
Oh, I don't want to be
That's
involved.
situational. I
Yeah.
think whether it ends good or bad. I think if it ends
Exactly.
good, you'd think that.
I feel like
generally
you're fully moved on if you remain neutral to whatever happens in
Yeah.
their life, right? Some exes do have more of like a supportive
Yeah.
kind of relationship after they break up. So to each their own. I do have a question. Sorry,
hear it.
Cesar.
No, let's hear it.
But would you be okay with running in to your ex in public
Oh God,
once you're moved on?
there was a day where I saw both of my exes on the same day.
That's so funny.
That's crazy.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Actually, no, I did
you
enjoy it
acknowledge
because
them?
I got to catch up.
Okay.
Because I've always for my second ex, I've always just wondered, like, I hope she's okay with what she's doing, knowing the things that she went through, and it was just nice to see that she was doing fine. That's what I mean by like happiness, seeing them.
I see what you
Okay.
mean.
It's like, oh, I knew about the struggles you were going through, and seeing that you're doing fine without me, and you're
Makes you
still
happy.
pursuing the things that you wanted to pursue. That makes me happy. Like,
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
like-
that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's like that one quote. It's like, I still want you to eat, but not at my table, type
Yeah.
of thing.
Oh, that's a cool
yeah,
quote.
I think it was Tupac. Don't quote me.
Tupac.
I think so.
Resinger.
I was gonna say life moves on, and seeing that their life is moving on is a good thing. Yeah, I'll also admit to that. It's nice knowing that.
But in public, though,
Yeah,
I'm
how would
gonna
you
be
react?
Devil's advocate again.
Let's hear it.
But I think it's again situational. I personally still talk to one of my exes, but
Toxic.
Hasn't moved
and
on.
if I see
Who
them
would
in
ever
public,
do that?
I'd be okay. But sometimes, which I also agree, if the relationship was full of trauma or abuse, let's say, seeing them in public can also trigger
Bring it
that
back.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have moved on.
Yeah.
It's not even just
Yes.
seeing them. It's like seeing like things that are connected with them.
Yeah.
And it
I
also
get
kind
that, I
of
get
brings
that.
back what you said earlier. Like, you loved your ex at one point.
Yeah.
Both of you loved each other. So
Assumingly.
that's why kind of like my mentality is like, it's okay to be complacent with your ex. Like, you don't have to hate them for the rest of your life. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
situational. If they
Definitely.
fucking like did some bullshit, of course, go ahead and hate
No,
them.
but like actively
But, like-
hating someone for the rest of your life, I think that's exhausting on our
Yeah.
It
part.
is exhausting.
So it's better to just let it go at some point.
I let it go depending on the situation, how situations ended, right? Like if I saw my ex, I wouldn't mind, but honestly I just don't want
Yeah,
to
you'd rather not.
I'd rather not. I really just rather not.
That's the thing, is avoiding actually hating. I don't think they
I don't
should
think
be,
so.
No.
because you did word it as instead of hating, you kind of just have to be
Avoid.
okay with it. I think you can avoid it and stay neutral and don't have
Yeah.
to talk to each other in public.
Like, I don't need to keep in contact. I don't need to see
Exactly.
him. I don't need to, like, be reminded of things, whatever was in his life and in my life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel that. I ain't trying to
Separate.
see my
No.
ex, bro.
No, I am.
Triggers.
Let me tell you, I'm good.
Yeah, we fine. We fine.
This is not an ex, but I kind of had this kind of like anxiety moment. Was it yesterday? Yesterday at the mall. It's not my ex, but it's my should I say this? This is trauma
Say
dumping.
it.
I'm
If
gonna
you
say it.
want
I don't really give a fuck. It's my dad's mistress.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a different aspect.
I saw her in public at the mall for the first time, and this happened in 2012. So, 11 years, and I saw her. So, I usually am emotionally, I have emotional fortitude, I'd say, but literally my head started spinning because
Yeah,
of that
rightfully so.
anxiety. It's like, I'm not mad. I don't hate her or anything like that.
You can't help
But
your feelings.
I'd rather avoid. I'd rather it not happening. I'd rather just going around public without having to see each other.
At the end of the day, that affected you a lot.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
gonna stay with you.
So
for the rest of
exhausted
your life.
yesterday after.
So why
Yeah.
expose yourself to those kinds of situations when you could just avoid?
Exactly.
I don't
You're not
know.
hating. You're
Yeah.
just.
You just
It's better off to
You
avoid.
Healthier.
you love yourself way too much to ever put yourself in that situation again. About think about that
Period.
person.
Slay.
You know.
Period.
Period. Slay.
You better work, girl.
So do you guys find it easy to move on?
me personally, no.
No?
Situational.
Yeah,
Situational.
but generally speaking, I feel like I'm a very sentimental person in regards to even like things. It's weird, like I don't know. So especially with like people, I feel like it's harder to move on for me.
You think it's
I don't know why.
you think it's harder to move on from a broken relationship or a broken friendship?
Oh, friendship.
I think it's really hard to
Harder friendship,
it's hard to move on from broken friendships.
Depends on
Whoa.
the length of the
It depends.
friendship.
What
Yeah,
about
true.
broken family ties? That's even like imagine like, oh, okay, we'll do it for me and Mark, right? Me and Mark are extremely close for brothers. Imagine if we had a falling out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That'd
hard.
be crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be devastated.
I mean,
I'd be
I can speak for myself. I haven't spoken to my dad since after Thanksgiving in 2018. So this marks about the 5th year that I'm not speaking to my dad, which I don't really tell people a lot, but I think that it was a huge step for me to do so. I was not in a good mental state, and a big portion of that is because of him and his abuse when I was younger. So it was like kind of, although it's not like I was close to him, but it's also like I was kind of chained to the title of being his son and having that father-son relationship, even though it's full of abuse, lying, and all that. And I had to really choose myself. That's when I chose myself. I did speak to my dad, by the way. So even though I'm in sometimes toxic situations, I'd go back. I'm circling back to the closure aspect that I said earlier. I confronted my dad. Literally went to his house and wanted to have a talk. And that's when I got my closure, and I never spoke to him
That's
again.
it. Yep.
That's it. And it's because I think it was the best decision for my mental health. It was after that, I feel like my entire life has been going up since. So it's that one thing that's pulling me down, and it was him.
One last question. One last question to you, Tim.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive your dad?
Oh, that's so funny. My mom's still pushing for me to speak to my dad, even though she got cheated on and all that, right? On top of numerous things that he did incorrectly and just bad. I think I eventually will be able to talk to him. I'm not the type to ignore people like that. I think that I'm still
healing?
I'm. It's not healing. I think I've healed. I've forgiven him. To be honest, my mom thinks I haven't. I've forgiven him completely. The thing is, when you have your biggest trauma in your life that it was setting you back for so long, and you think about him coming back to your life, you're kind of traumatized to having your life being pulled back down
Right.
again. When I've been going up since 2018,
Yeah.
every single month, every single day since, I've been better than the day before.
Yeah.
Even if I have other relationships, other situations and circumstances that I've been involved in, it's been okay and it's been better because he's not part of my life. So that's what I'm scared of, and that's the reason why I still haven't spoken to him till today.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just like the avoiding thing. Like, why would you put yourself in that when you cannot?
I'm such a Debbie Downer.
No, I think it all comes in time.
Yeah.
But we are also running short
time.
on time.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so let's do a second break.
No, I think we're pretty much done. I think.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Cesar, you want to continue or?
No, I think we're good. A lot of great points covered here, you guys. So
Yeah. Great talk again.
yes.
Let us know in the comments if you like this.
Yes.
Where
How
each
do
of
you
us are
guys move
hosting
on?
the
Answer that
episodes,
question.
and also tell us how you guys move on. Like Cesar said.
Yes.
Any closing remarks?
On to the new year, guys. Let's go.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Wish you a happy New Year.
Okay.
We wish you a
happy New Year. We wish you a happy New Year.
and a happy
Slay us be.
New
I don't know what that was.